Hey everyone, what's up? It's TheUnproPro here, and welcome back to another episode of the Game Editor Tutorials. This episode will not be actually a follow-up of the last episode, but this will be a little bit different. I'm going to be explaining the different variable types. I don't know if I've covered this or not. I really didn't check, and I apologize if I did. But regardless, every Tuesday there will be probably a new episode of the Game Editor series, hopefully, as well. So hopefully you guys can enjoy that as well. So let's get on with it. So you have different types of variables. You have a char. Oops. Oh, I was way over a key there. Char, or a character variable, which stands for text. You can do text, and then up to 256, I believe, or you can do star text, where the word text is, of course, the name of your variable, and that would allow for, I think, unlimited amount of typing. However, if you do this, I believe that limits you to 256 character limit. Not 100% sure on that. I don't really use I don't really use anything besides the star text. I believe the star stands for a pointer. I'm not 100% sure on that either. Anyways, you also have integers, which hold a value from 0, 1, 2, stuff like that. They don't hold decimals like 0.1 or anything like that. You can name it, of course, name it pi, for example, if you want to. So that's an integer. You can also do short integers, which I believe goes up to, what was it? I forget the limit that shorts go up to. I think you can also use short. I don't know if that works in gameEditor, but I believe in regular programming you can do that as well. You can also use a long int, which is the same thing as an int, but holds an even larger value. And of course, you can do, I believe, long int. And if you really want to confuse things, you might even be able to do short long or long short, which would pretty much negate the effect, I think, if you did anyways. But anyways, I let my dog in there. She was scratching at the door. She wanted in, drank some water. Now the other types of variables you have are doubles and float. Double and float are almost the same thing in my view, because I don't really know the difference myself, but they're variables that hold decimals. So let's say you did a float. Float potato equals 0. Blah, blah, blah. You can do that. You can do that. Anyways, moving on. You also have you can also have what's called arrays. I usually use integers for arrays. Int variables. Now arrays are extremely interesting, and now she wants back out. Come on. Okay. Anyways. Arrays are extremely interesting because you can basically have one variable have a bunch of different values. So let's say int variables, 25. Now that one variable can have 25 different values. You can also add more dimensions. Let's say another 25 here. You can also add more dimensions, so now it can have 25 times 25 different values. This can be done by simply doing this. Variables 0, 5, for example, equals 5. You can also do, hold on. It's very dark, and I have like this thing around my neck, and plus the microphone's right next to me, so it's really hard to type at the moment. 0, wait, let's do 1, 5 equals 10. See, that's how this works. I really hope you get it. It's kind of hard to explain. It's not that confusing, but it's kind of difficult for me to explain, but I'm trying to do my best anyways. 0, 5 equals 5. 1, 5 equals 10. So yeah, you can do a whole lot with arrays. Arrays are extremely helpful in whatever game you're going to be making. For the game editor specifics, like specifically designed for game editor, I kind of Englished out that a little bit, but hey. You can also add variables through the variables button down here. Click add, and then you can name your variable. You can give it an integer, a real, which is pretty much a float or a double, like I showed earlier, or a string, which is technically a char. If you want to create a single-dimensional array, you can do so by clicking yes, and then saying the array size is 140, so that would be the same thing as typing this. int lol what caret. It's the same thing as typing that, for example. So, yeah. So that's pretty much this short little video on variables. However, despite the fact that this is a short tutorial, it is actually very quite useful because... Very quite useful? Nice English today, man. Gosh, I love this. Anyway, it's very useful because variables are pretty much insanely important. I really don't think it's possible to make a game without variables at all. Matter of fact, I pretty much know it's not. Unless you make a single text... No, even that relies on a variable. So yeah, it's impossible to make games without variables. So yeah, no, there you go. You now know how variables work. So I thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you all later.